Today is the 22nd Sunday of the year, and our Gospel text is Matthew chapter 16, verses 21 through 28. It brings into focus Jesus' intense commitment to who and what he is. It's about the ultimate goal of his being here with us, among us. He tells the disciples, the Son of Man, that's himself, the Son of Man must go up to Jerusalem. He must suffer. He must be put to death. I'd like to focus in our reflection on this must. I'm going to go back to Aristotle, Greek philosopher. He spoke a lot about telos, the end, the goal, especially the ultimate end, the ultimate goal. We are constantly acting in view of ends or goals. Take, for example, the GPS navigation system. If you don't put in the end, the goal to which you want to travel, it's not going to find the way. It's very symbolic. It's good to have purpose and intent. It doesn't have to be rigid. Better if it's not, probably. It's better if it's there in some manner. Have some sense of purpose. Now, telos is perhaps roughly translated by raison d'être, our reason of being. And if we want to discover as people of faith why we're here, what is our telos, we go to the sacred scriptures, starting with creation. In chapter 1, verse 27 of Genesis, and chapter 2, verse 7 of Genesis, we have two accounts creation. Clearly, we are creatures. We are made by God. One of the accounts talks of us being made in the image and likeness of God. The second one, God breathes into the earth. There's intent in God's breathing, and we carry that intent with us. It's written into our beings. To be who we are is to be what we are, creatures of God. St. Augustine so beautifully captured this in the beginning of his Confessions. Our hearts are restless until they rest in thee, till they've arrived at their ultimate end. We'll always be restless. Every individual, says Pope John Paul II, every individual is unrepeatable. It is a path from which we cannot withdraw. This is all grounded, rooted in our being created by God. Now, let us say immediately that even though we can speak generally with confidence about our telos, our raison d'être, our must, our existential must, it's much more difficult to speak concretely in detail of just how we will live this out on a day-to-day basis. In fact, if truth be told, our lives are dotted with faults and failings, missteps, experiments. What we thought was right, we discovered wasn't, or might have been half true. We have to feel our way through life. We have to discover moment by moment how this general aim or purpose is fulfilled. It is a question of graced emergence, not willful achievement. And it comes sometimes not without pain, but it is being on the way that matters. St. Augustine puts it nicely. He said, better to stumble along the way as if you were lame than to sprint on the wrong way. There's a lot of wisdom in that. But sometimes sprinting along the wrong way is very attractive. We all carry with us fictions, pretenses, illusions that we take on or we foist on ourselves or others force us to take on, and we willingly do it. So that by the time we get to middle age, there's a thicket of unreality around us. We must discover who and what we are. That's one of the major reasons we meditate on the Gospels, why we gather in the liturgy, proclaim the Gospel and think about it and read about it, to become aware of who and what we are, not just as information or theory, but as formation, as fact, to live out who and what we are. Jesus tells the disciples, the Son of Man, me, I must go up to Jerusalem. He could have been someone who set up a marvelous healthcare system, could have done a lot politically, sociologically. He didn't. That wasn't why he was here. That wasn't his raison d'etre. His being, his existential must. He prompts us to think about that, our existential must, our raison d'etre, our Telos. Why are you here? Why do you exist? And that's not an opportunity or a clarion call to set sail on some willful project to make sure you become a purposeful human being. You don't have to make sure. You have a purpose written on your very being. You have to discover it. Life is mostly listening, growing through experience, becoming aware, awakenings, moments of discovery, and then appropriation of what we discover, that to which we awaken. Jesus is not only our exemplar, he accompanies us, he is with us, he is in us. He is the source of our energy and our power and our telos.